Welcome again to the Third and 10 podcast, season 3, episode 47. I'm your host, Nathan Nguyen, joined by my guy, Brian Germanaro. Happy Tuesday, I guess, to start. Brian, how you doing, my friends? Good to see you.
It's losses like this that makes
I
me
know.
wonder, what would have happened if I just never gotten into sports?
Me too.
If I
Too.
just, was a car guy or just just did video games 24/7. It wouldn't have to experience the emotion and just the ruining of Sunday night that game did for me.
I always I tell my friends this all the time. Like, if I wasn't into sports, I'd probably be like this nerdy book reader. Nothing wrong with it, but
No.
this guy that reads books a lot, or an anime type of guy, or just maybe some like Nintendo Switch,
I
Mario
think
Kart
that's what I would
streamer.
go. I think I'd be a big Star Wars and Nintendo guy. That's
Yeah.
probably what I would do.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're gonna play Mario Kart.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I'd be working like a real job.
Oh yeah, fair.
I'd just play Mario on the side, just work all day so I go home and play some Mario.
Yeah, instead of podcasting about sports, we'd probably be like, here are the top 5 characters you should play in Mario Kart, number 5. Because sports is definitely it's a stressful thing to be a fan of.
It's not it's not relaxing. It's really not. You'll work all your emotions out through it.
No, 100%. Yeah, it's especially when your team makes history every single week, or mostly every single week in the worst way possible. Yeah.
Like it would be like the Chiefs or Patriots back in the day. Like every week it was a new best thing ever. Our history's like, oh, we lost badly again.
Yeah, and it probably the worst way I ever seen it. For our G-Men on Sunday. But before we even start, shout out to the Blue Jays making the World Series yesterday
George
after the
Springer
Game 7 win.
being a hero.
That was clutch. Shout out to the Mariners, heck of a season by them, and then Blue Jays
another
and Dodgers.
painful chapter in the Mariners' history.
I know. I was gonna be happy with whoever would have made it between the two.
I didn't really have a preference. I mean, I wanted the Mariners to make it because they just haven't. And it's just they're one of those stories. You're like, oh, 21-year postseason drought, World Series inbound, all that stuff. But hey, shout out to the Blue Jays. Great season by them right now.
Mm-hmm. Cal Raleigh, heck of a season. Obviously, I'll be seeing this.
Oh my god,
this year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they came up short. But shout out to them, heck of a year. But Blue Jays and Dodgers in the World Series.
Two teams with the exact same color scheme.
I know.
Only the Blue Jays have the red.
Yeah. America versus Canada.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's gonna be fun. I'm excited to watch it. But that's probably the only good thing that happened in sports for me these past 2-3 days, because our boys ruined it for us on Sunday, and we'll dive into it right now. Giants 32, Broncos 33. Yeah. See, here's the thing. For those who don't know, there was a 1,062 game winning streak, I believe.
Yep.
For teams that were leading by at least 16 points or 18 points in the final 6 minutes of a game per the CBS broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you can probably guess who broke the streak. That was us.
Yep.
Heartbreaking. Simple as that.
There's no other way to describe it.
Honestly, this game definitely makes me feel more sick.
It's worse because
I felt more sick in this game with this game compared to the Dallas.
Yeah,
because with Dallas, it was like a back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's like, how do I describe it? Like, obviously, what led to the demise of the team was the exact same between, obviously Shane Bowen making the bad defensive call, but when you're up by 19 points after the third quarter, you're shutting them out. Everything looks right.
Quarter, they're up by 19 points with 5 minutes left. What are we talking about? It was 26-8 with 5 minutes left. When you have that, the game's over.
Yeah, and then when they score a touchdown, I was like, "Oh, we're still fine." And then when Tyron Tracy scored that last the touchdown, no, it was the tip. Uh,
The Theo Johnson touchdown is when I tweeted this out. I'm like, that's nail in the coffin. And I said, this is a sign that everything's changing for the Giants because luck is bouncing our way. That in
mhm.
the past, that's either dropped or that's a pick six.
Yeah, that was the cherry on top for me. I was just like, okay, here we go. This is
Mm-hmm.
that catch. Even though we were already up 19-8, that touchdown catch sealed it. And then just the worst possible things happen around the 7-12 mark of the fourth quarter. Like we had a 99.8% win probability at
Yep.
that time. And then it just unraveled, whether it was the dart interception to just the defense just not making stops, guys going down. Well, obviously we didn't have Holland and Adebo in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, which I
Because
think hurts a lot because it puts Banks on the field, and Banks is just not a. You can't run him out there anymore. He's terrible.
you
And
really can't.
I know saw some guy on Twitter today who was like, you can't trade Banks; he has no value. Well, dude, guess what? There's no value for him on this team at all. So you got to pull an Eli Apple and move him.
Yeah, it's better to be just do it now than wait, because
Mm-hmm.
if you wait too long, it's
Yeah, he's like,
just
well,
like
what if we bring in another defensive coordinator and it fixes him? It's like, well, okay then, but dude, for what we've seen the last 2 years, that's not happening. Like what has Banks showed you? It's not like Banks is playing bad and giving it his all. He gives up after every single play. Like the big conversion. I forgot where it was in the game. If you watch him, he makes the catch, he bounces back, and Banks just slows down. Like, dude, make a play, show some effort.
he doesn't give effort. He really doesn't. He's just not that good. That's what it
No,
is. He
and
he
just
had a
body language makes it 10 times worse.
he had a good rookie year.
Yeah.
It gave us optimism, and after that, he was just terrible from that point forward. But you know what? Hey, I know we have a lot of negatives and a lot of sad things to talk about when it comes to this game, but let's focus on the positives at least, because there
Mm-hmm.
were a good amount of positives from this game. I know I mentioned the Jaxson Dart interception. When you're a rookie quarterback, you gotta live with these mistakes. But no one can say that he didn't play well on
Oh
Sunday, because
no,
he really did.
no, Jaxson
Um,
Dart had a great game.
yeah,
That game showed us, and there's some negatives like the
yes,
final drive. He was kind of playing hero ball a little bit, which kind of
yes,
he needs to work on that. But that's to be expected for a rookie, especially Jaxson Dart who's trying to win it all in one play, and it worked out for him. We got the
yeah,
penalties, so that was good. The
yeah.
interception was bad, but I don't put it at him that much because I don't think we should have been passing in that play to begin with. But but outside of those two things, it was all positives from Dart.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the play call that they ran on 3rd and 5 that
Mm-hmm.
led to the interception, that was a I love the aggressive approach by Dable to do that. That's what we saw against the Chargers when Dart hit Theo Johnson on that little curl route to
Yeah,
kind of seal things up for New York. So it's just unfortunately this particular
but
situation ended up in interception, and that's
if
okay.
but it's not just that. It's if he would just hand off to Scatterbo or do some sort of run play, even if he doesn't get the first down, Denver's forced to use their final timeout. You punt the ball back to Denver, and they're at probably like their 15, 20-yard line. So they got to drive, 80, 85 yards down the field with no control over the clock. You're forced them to kick an onside kick at some point.
Hmm.
So even if they score, they're going to have to get an onside kick. And then if they get it back, they're going to have like a minute to score with no way to stop that clock.
Yeah, it's the same old saying, like hindsight's 2020, and we
Mm-hmm.
just have to live with it. Um, and hell, hey, even though those first couple drives to start the game were a bit rough for the Giants offense, he did leave that 4 play 77-yard drive
Yeah.
that ended with a wide open Daniel Bellinger
Mm-hmm.
to put the Giants on the board first. And that really hyped me up, hyped a lot, every Giants fan for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, so it's great throw, great catch. Good to see Bellinger, by the way, has a lot of
Mm-hmm.
success on
Bellinger had a great
Sunday.
game.
Hell
I
yeah.
know it's going to get lost, but he had a great game.
Yeah, it was great to see. Uh, of course, those first couple of drives did, mess up Jaxson Dart's stats a little bit because as he completed less than 50% of his passes, but he did have 283 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, along with 5 carries for 11
Only
yards,
throwing to one wide receiver, by the
one
way.
wide receiver. That is a major concern there that we'll definitely get into.
It's a concern, but to me, I almost see it as more of a sign that Jaxson Dart is the franchise guy and not just like a system quarterback, because he's working with nothing out there. Like, we like Wan'Dale Robinson. I think Wan'Dale Robinson has earned a spot long term on his team, but no one is here saying he's going to be wide receiver 1. He's that inside slot guy, that short kind of safety blanket guy. That's what Wan'Dale Robinson is.
Yeah.
The fact that Dart was able to throw for over almost 300 yards and only have like these Wan'Dale Robinson as his best target, and it's a lot of Theo Johnsons and Daniel Bellingers, that to me shows that, okay, this kid's got something special. If you give him more weapons, he's going to like really unlock something.
He sure does. Like, he just needs a couple of just.
That's why, like, I'm still not out on trading for a receiver. I think there's bigger issues now, like a kicker, and B, I would like to maybe come away with some secondary depth, like just somebody, so we don't have to run out Banks if Holland and Adebo are out long term, which I think Holland they said was okay. I haven't heard much about Adebo yet. I think they said Holland they're not really that concerned with. So that's
Holland's fine. And I think it's just the corners, because like with the defense, Dane Belton was outstanding on Sunday.
Oh, Belton was great.
My God.
That tackle he had at the goal line.
Woo, that got me high, bro. I was like,
Lord.
He smacked him, and you could see her getting Kevin Holland, the commentator's voice, go off when that happened. I was like, holy shit.
There were so many signs that pointed to the Giants were going to win that game, and that is one of them. When they're at the goal line and you stuff them like that, it's like, man, this team is outplaying them. They're the better team today. It's the same thing we saw against Philly. This is a team going forward.
Exactly. So,
if we're being honest, if we would have won that game, and I know we're kind of all over the place because that's just what this game was.
Yeah, and that's okay.
We beat the Chargers, we beat Philly, and we beat Denver. We're 3-4 going into Philly with like pretty much the Philly. I know Philly won and Hurts had a great performance, but they're kind of on the ropes. They're not that strong team they once were. That division was wide open for us to take it. With just being 3 playoff teams and with a potential 4th one in Philly. Which might not have Saquon Barkley.
I know. I hate talking about what ifs. It sucks, man.
It sucks, but that's what makes this loss so much worse. It's that, like, if they would have won that game, the playoffs were not, like, laughable anymore. They were, like, a serious conversation of, were the Giants going to be a playoff team?
Yeah, because we're in the thick of the division race, and now we're, 2 games back now of first place? No, 3 games,
3 games back at first, because the Eagles are 5. Because Eagles beat Philly, they're 5-2. But, like, if we beat them again, we would have moved closer and all that kind of stuff. Philly not being that good. Jaxson Dart and the Giants kind of going on the up.
Which
all
makes
that fun stuff.
Which makes next Sunday's game against Philly another potential, I guess, how do I say this? It's a big game. Let's keep it simple as that, because if we win that, possibly, if that even happens.
It's a big game, but, like, even if we win it, I'm not convinced we're going anywhere.
Yeah. Because we would still be 2 games back, and Dallas is clicking on all cylinders. So right now, Dallas is clicking on all cylinders. The eventual collapse will happen because they're Dallas, and the Commanders just don't look the same.
But, like, I can never count out the Commanders if Jane Daniels is able to get healthy. You know?
Yeah, I
think that's a big if. But if he's healthy, I think they're going to, run away with it.
Yeah. But, hey, with Dart, man, there was so much going against him, whether it was a tough Broncos defense, the lack of...
and that's another thing. He did this performance against a really good Broncos defense.
Which, by the way, Nick Benito was nowhere to be found, if you ask me.
Yeah, no. He was scared. He was dropped in the coverage a lot and, like, was not up against Andrew Thomas a lot.
Yeah, I think it was
That's another thing. I wanted to tweet out so badly. You talked all that trash just to get blown out by 19 points.
Yeah, I know. That if we would have won the game,
it would have just been just the sweetest icing on the cake. Like, you guys talk so much garbage. And now all the Broncos fans, oh my God, all the loser Broncos fans on, like, TikTok were like, like beating their chest. And rightfully so. They won the game. But the way they were talking, you would have thought that they were in control the entire game. It's like, bro, you guys got lucky we blew that game.
I hate to be that guy, but, like, it kind of feels like Denver fans are a little worse than Phil. Oh,
no.
They're like, it's like, so
no.
So you have tier 1, right? So you have tier 1, so that's, tier 1 is where the Philly fans. For when it comes to Eagles fans, we don't like Eagles fans. But then Denver has definitely climbed up for me in my opinion to like tier 2 of that.
I don't know about that. I think there's just one
I don't
game
know,
that they're
man.
cheating.
They were I I don't know. They've said a lot of out of pocket crap this past week, and I was very questioned in regards to their attitudes and whatnot. Like, bro, your franchise has been relevant for like quite some time, and your
Since Peyton
quarterback
Manning.
is and their quarterback is an absolute screen merchant who made
Yeah.
one or two
He did
throws
not
down the
play
field.
good on Sunday. He got a lot of
He
passes
really didn't,
hit.
and we're not trying to be haters. I
He had
want to
a
make
good
this clear.
quarter. He had a good quarter. That
Great,
I
yeah,
will give
he
him.
was solid court, but like the first 3 quarters, he was absolute dog crap, and I think
Yeah.
everyone can agree
They
with
couldn't
that.
move the
No,
ball. The Broncos could not move the ball. There's a reason why all their points came in the fourth quarter.
yeah. And by the way, for those who are like, oh, but Jaxson Dart got lucky on that touchdown catch from him to Theo Johnson. Yeah, did we not see what
Yeah,
Bo
okay,
Nix
so
did? Bo Nix had the same things, but we're not gonna just say that was lucky. Oh, for sure. But I'm
yeah,
just
no.
I'm just saying. But I
And just
digress.
say, like, I know, like, the Dart like one of their touchdowns. Like, if Dart doesn't throw the interception, they just run the ball. Like, the Broncos probably don't score in that drive because they only score because they were like 20 yards away from the end zone.
Yeah, but freaking hate it. But
Mhm.
but yeah, like we talked about Dart, whether it was the defense, the tough defense they had to go up against, to a lack of or solid receiver play, to um honestly just a lot of things going against him.
Yeah.
But he still got the job done. Versus the blitz, he was 8 of 14 for 193 yards and 2 touchdowns. Did have that one pick though, but I digress. Was sacked 4 times, but he made the critical throws and let the team down the field for what would have been the game-winning touchdown in that fourth quarter. That would have,
Mhm.
even though the Broncos came all the way back, that touchdown would have kind of kept the Giants up for good. But unfortunately, Denver came all the way back
Yeah.
on their last drive and the things from there. But we'll dive into that in just a bit because defensively, I'm just not in a very positive mood for obvious reasons. But continuing on offense, shout out to the tight ends, of course, outside of Wan'Dale Robinson, Hyatt, Humphrey, and Collins did not do jack. I had high hopes for Lil Jordan Humphrey, especially after that
Yeah.
game
But
last
it's
week
little
against
Jordan.
Denver.
That's on us. It's little Jordan Humphrey. Like, we can't.
Yeah, 2 targets, no catches, no nothing. So
Yeah.
just to maybe point it out, maybe try Gunnar O at receiver. I'm just desperate. I think
Why
that's what
not? Just give it a shot. Try
I mean,
somebody out
he
there.
was fine in the preseason. Might not give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's why they have to go out and get a receiver. Even if
yeah,
it's just like a Rashid Shaheed or just like a Juju. Tyler Lockett just got cut. Go get
yeah.
him.
I think Jalen Waddle and Chris Olave are
They're
definitely out
gone.
of the picture for
They're
sure.
off they're off the table right now.
Yeah, because of the loss. But yeah, Lockett didn't do crap in Tennessee, but then again, Tennessee is where receivers go to die. So
Yeah, go get Lockett. Go get Lockett, which is like another at the very least, it's an established NFL caliber wide receiver you can run out there, and just give Dart somebody else to work with.
yeah, just a name. A name is
Mm-hmm.
is how you would best describe Lockett because he's not gonna be a guy that puts up like 5 for 80 yards, but he'll give you like maybe 3 for 50
Yeah.
and just give you someone
I'm
else.
not looking for this player to be fantasy relevant. I'm just looking for him to be a solid number 2 guy behind Wan'Dale for the rest of the season. And just not have Dart, have to only throw the one receiver he can count on. He should at least have 2.
Yeah. But I will say shout out to Wan'Dale for carrying, man. 6 catches,
Yeah.
95 yards, including, had a couple of nice catches, had that leaping one early in the first half. That was great. But no, tight ends, man. Daniel Bellinger, best game since that rookie year. He looked like his rookie self, honestly. 3 catches, 88 yards, no
Yeah.
touchdown. Theo Johnson had 3 catches for 66 yards himself. Did have a drop or two, but he was still solid. Really glad the Giants went to 12 and 13 personnel in the
Mm-hmm.
game, especially after those first 2 drives because they were running a lot of gun bunch formations to start the game. And
Yeah.
that obviously Dart kind of struggled because Denver's defense was just getting home. But once you ran like 12, 13 personnel, things kind of changed and the Giants were able
Mm-hmm.
to move the ball down the field. So shout out to the tight ends for contributing in the passing game and run blocking and all those things and making up for what was a lackluster receiving corps, to say the least, my friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, running game wise, hey, Scatterboo, 94 all-purpose yards. He was solid. Had a touchdown himself. The fact that he was already going to score a touchdown and then still truck the defender in the end zone just shows how crazy he is.
That was his touchdown celebration. That's all that was.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm just like, dude, you didn't have to truck him, yet you did just because you're scat.
Yeah,
I
he
love
wanted
it.
to.
Yeah, and he can. But I'm very, very happy for Tyrone Tracy. Hey, the hole he
Oh
darted
my
through for that
God,
touchdown,
he went not even touched into the end zone.
dude.
He started celebrating at the 15-yard line.
That hole opened up like it was so wide, dude. I was just like, holy crap. Everything parted like the Red Sea,
Yeah.
honestly. But it was honestly great to
That's
see them.
why whatever happens to this coaching staff, Carmen Bracello has to be kept.
Yeah. Oh, yes. He has changed this offensive line for the better. And I'm so happy that he's, when we talked about it too, when he was first hired, like, I don't know how fast we said that he would change the line, but we had all the confidence in the world when we hired him that he was going to make a big difference for the Giants O line, and he sure did.
Oh,
So
yeah.
shout out to him. And Tyrone Tracy, look, he's going to be remaining in a limited role. That touchdown run will not change anything, and most of those yards that he had on the day, he had 46 yards total, and that touchdown run was about like 30 yards or something like that. But it's staying productive is key. And when he has to fill in for Tracy, getting those, big gains will only help his case to get him more playing time,
Yeah.
even though he may not be the main back. So shout out to him for staying ready and playing pretty well and having that clutch touchdown. That would have been clutch touchdown run to help the Giants win, but I digress. But yeah, Scat showed up. Wasn't as impactful like it was against Philly, but overall, solid performances by both backs for sure.
Exactly. Yeah, they were solid. And you can't have Scabu's not going to every single game do what he did against Philly. All right, that's no. You can't put that kind of expectations on any running back. Like Jahmyr Gibbs is not going to do what he did last night next week or whenever the Lions come off the bye.
Yeah. What's it called? What I was going to mention, I was trying to pull up the offensive line stats. Yes. So, hey, O-line was great. I know I mentioned earlier that Jaxson Dart was sacked 4 times, I believe. But it's one of those. So 3 of them were credited to Dart because a lot of sacks this year have been credited to Dart, not so much the offensive line.
I think it's like him scrambling's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. Grant Van Roten was the only O-lineman to allow a sack. Otherwise, it looks like this: Andrew Thomas just 1 quarterback hit, Runyon 0 pressures, Schlotman 1 pressure allowed, Van Roten 1 sack 1 pressure allowed, and Illuminor 1 pressure allowed. So very, very happy about the Giants' offensive line. Played really well, kept the defense at bay as best as they could. Seemed like after that first couple of drives, like I mentioned earlier, they really settled in and calmed down Denver's defensive line. Thomas neutralized Bonito completely, so much that Vance Joseph had to move him to the other side against Illuminor, and it still did not matter. So shout out to the Giants O-line, man. And you mentioned Bracello, just a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
We go to the defense now. Burns continues to be a monster. 2 sacks and a pass deflection. Now the official sack leader with 9 now.
Yeah. And Burns showing us the video of him in the locker room after the game, that him walking down the tunnel. Like, it just it's another sign that, like, okay, these guys care. Like, you want these guys to care. And it's kind of one of the reasons that bothered Eli Manning for so many years. Is like he would have a brutal game like that and was just so monotoned. It's like, I know you won 2 Super Bowls, dude. I get all that. But can you show me a little emotion that you're upset about this? And seeing Brian Burns just so distraught, it's like, okay, this team cares, and there's a problem with this coaching staff.
Yeah, and especially that coordinator that will not be named. But the Giants did today.
Well, I showed you the video. I tweeted the video out yesterday. I don't know if you saw it or not. It's in the Eagles game. The entire defense is ignoring Shane Bowen on the sidelines.
That's right.
Straight up ignoring him. So it's very clear that the players hate him, or at least don't respect him as a coach. So you have that. You have Shane Bowen blowing multiple games for us. What the hell is this guy still doing here?
I don't know. I really don't. And there were reports today that the Giants, when they were asked about it again, whether it was Okereke or Burns, they did say that they were just frustrated and they believe in the scheme and believe in Bowen. But like, of course, they
No,
have to say that.
that's all lip service to
Yeah,
kind of
they have to
to
say that.
mask things. They're all upset. Burns is upset. We ran the same thing again. What we ran against Dallas, we did the same thing against Denver, and it worked again. So guess what? That shows me Shane Bowen does not learn.
I just don't understand when you have a core of defensive linemen slash edges in Tibbs and Lawrence and Carter and Burns. Like, I just don't understand how hard it is to
Why
keep them
isn't
to put them
Carter
on
and
the.
Dex on the field?
Yeah, that kind of ticked me off for sure, especially Lawrence
Why are
not
they
being
on
out
the
there.
field? Why?
Mm.
Like, I get you're dropping
It beats me.
A, that doesn't work. And B, our secondary was so beat up off with injuries. We're putting like the fourth and fifth string guys out there. I'd rather take out the fourth string corner to be able to rush four and put Sexy Dexy in the center, or put, Abdul Carter on the line. I'd
Yeah,
much rather do that.
I just don't know what's I don't know what goes on in Bowen's mind. I really don't.
No.
You know, but you know
Like, how
what?
do
I
you
feel
not
him.
see what happened in Dallas and be like, okay, that didn't work. I have to change it up a little bit. That's two losses you could put on Shane Bowen right now. And Dable just kind of put the defense on him for not firing him. And like, I get what you could say, like, how much does firing a coordinator midseason really do? What it does, it shows that what Shane Bowen's doing and like the losses that he's caused us are unacceptable, and that they're going to make a change in the offseason, but they can't wait for the offseason. Like, the scheme would be the same. We're not going from a 4-3 to a 3-4 overnight. It's just that Shane Bowen's doing such an unacceptable job. We have to fire him now.
I
And
think when
Dable keeping him is like, well, now that's on you, dude, because you had a shot to make a statement saying what happened on Sunday was unacceptable, and you've doubled down. So now perhaps the defense is on you.
I think with the Giants, ever since Shane has taken over, I think it's the best way to describe this team. Here, I'll bring up an example. So as
How about
kids,
Joe
right?
Shane, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ever since Shane has,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Joe
The
Shane
Shane
has
and Dable regime
taken up.
started.
Exactly. So as kids, right? We obviously do a lot of bad things as kids, whether it's break vases or, just do a bunch of things that are irresponsible or
Yeah.
in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we always get punished or yelled at or scolded, right? And when we do that, or whenever we are scolded or whatever, we learn our lesson, because even though we did the bad thing, we learn not to do it again.
Mm-hmm. It's like touching a hot fire.
Yeah,
That's all that you're only gonna do once.
you do it once and it's like, oh crap, like that's
Yeah.
gonna mess me up. I'm never gonna do it again, because we're learning our lesson.
Mm-hmm.
With the Giants, I think, ever since Joe Shane has taken over as the GM, we have just never learned our lesson.
Yes.
Whenever something bad happens,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's, you just mentioned the Shane Bowen situation with the Dallas game and the game that happened this past Sunday against Denver, where it's like, oh, we're winning, let's just run prevent defense and rush only 3 guys and
Off
whatever.
coverage, and they were doing that for 10 minutes. Like, that wasn't like an end of the game thing. They were doing that for like 10 minutes. You're allowing Bo Nix to get into a groove.
Yeah, after it worked the first time for Denver, you shouldn't have ran that again. Yet you continue to do that because we just don't learn our lesson. We just let things happen to us, and whatever the case may be. That's one example.
Mm-hmm.
Another example is the kicker situation.
Oh my God.
Graham Gano, right?
The fact that McAtney, whatever the hell his name is still on this roster is an absolute embarrassment.
I think a change might be made.
The changes are going to be made, but the fact that Brian Dable didn't just come out straight up and cut him for missing 2 extra points is atrocious, disgusting.
Yeah, if the Niners can,
it's one thing if you miss 2 field goals. I get it, field goals are kind of hard to make, bro. Chip shots, you cost us 3 points. That's the game right there.
Yeah, the Niners. If the Niners can cut Jake Moody that fast after him, being inconsistent, then the Giants can cut Mac to whatever. I'm not gonna say it because he's trash. But yeah, the kicker situation, right? When Graham Gano went down the first time, we did not take the kicker position seriously. And
we've never taken the kicker position seriously.
We just never. Yeah, no, seriously, it's ridiculous. And when he went down the second time, I'm, it looked like the Giants were being smart when they signed young Wayne Koo, but then they decided to give this international player a freaking chance and just
Who
beyond
sucked
me.
at Rutgers. He lost his kicking job at Rutgers. Why is he a Giant now?
I really don't know. Actually, real quick, before we get to the negatives, real quick, let me point out just a few more positives, real quick.
Okay.
Dane Belton, when he came down for Holland,
Yep,
he was impactful. Had that massive tackle, that caused turnover on downs.
perfect depth safety to have. We need more of
Yes,
that. I want
10 total tackles.
Joe Shane to go trade a 5th-round pick for another Dane Belton and
Yes.
a corner version of Dane Belton.
He's a corner, yeah. Was impactful. Kept that tackle that caused turnover on downs. Kept Denver scoreless at the half. 10 total tackles by Belton, and then he just showed that he's not just a special teams ace. Cordell Flott continues to build off.
He might be a star. He might be a star.
Hey, when targeted, you got a point, because when he was targeted, Bo Nix had a 39.6 passer rating. That's the worst that you could have in terms of passer rating. So he was great. He is the undeniable CB2. It just makes me wonder why we even had a battle for the CB2 spot in the first place. 4 tackles, 2 pass deflections, 1 tackle for loss, allowed just 2 completions on 10 targets. He's not a CB1 by any means, though. I will need to see a lot more. But he's a nice complimentary CB2. Needs a solid CB1 on the other side. And will be.
But that's what a Debo's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. That's the key word. Hasn't done
exactly.
so quite yet, but I digress. All right, now we can kind of rant now for sure. Yeah. So here's the thing, and I was kind of frustrated. I said my same frustrations on the corner booth, but I will say it here as well.
Yeah, I missed the corner booth. I want to get your authentic reaction before I watch that.
So, and maybe it's because I'm still pissed about it. So maybe next time we talk about it, I won't be as pissed, or I'll apologize, but I'm going to say it right now just because. Football is an American sport. It was originated here in the U.S., right?
Where are you going with this?
Just yeah, I got you. Trust me. So it's an American sport, right?
Yeah.
I get it. There's nothing wrong with spreading the sport across other countries. We've seen it with basketball. We see it with baseball, right? Like, we've seen players from other countries come here to play a Major League Baseball and succeed at the highest level. I get that.
Yeah.
But sometimes some sports weren't made to be spread across the world, because you're forcing teams to sign players from different parts of the country just to fill that international spot.
Yeah.
Right? So with the Giants, at the time, their country was, I guess, Ireland or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they signed this McTominay, whatever his name is.
Jude.
And you meant Jude. And like you mentioned, was trash at Rutgers. I'm trying not to cuss right now because for YouTube reasons. He is one example of why football shouldn't be spread across the country, because you're giving bums, right? You're giving bums from other parts of the country chances to play in the NFL. When you have kids, you have college kids out there.
Yeah, what was that guy on YouTube that's like just making kicks 24/7? Can we give him a call?
Yeah, they were born and raised in the U.S. They played through the high school ranks. They played through the college ranks in the U.S. They played at a high level. They played well. They deserve a spot in the NFL, yet they don't get them because bums like this whatever dude is getting chances to play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And this is on Joe Shane too, because Joe Shane could have went any other avenue to get a kicker, but decided to keep to the only move he made was sign Young Wei Koo to the practice squad.
Yeah.
Keyword is practice squad, not to the active roster, practice squad. Because I swear to God, think about this. Jude missed the extra point against Philly, right? But no one remembers that.
No.
Not even I did.
I forgot about it. I completely forgot about it too.
Yeah,
I forgot about it.
I was looking at the stats after the game, the Denver game, and then I was like, has this kicker always been bad? Which I knew the answer was yes, but I want to look at the exact stats.
But how bad was he?
Yeah, and I forget he missed the extra point against Philly. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that now. Or I was like, oh,
it was like the first quarter, right?
That's why I think it was when the Giants were.
Was it Wan'Dale's touchdown?
It was the second one. Yes, it was the Wan'Dale touchdown.
Yeah.
That he missed it, and I was like, okay, but it wasn't a big deal because we won.
We were up
Not
13-0 at that point. It was like, all
yeah,
right, we're fine.
yeah. But 2 missed extra points in a game where those points were crucial because if you do the math, 32 plus 2 equals 34, and 34 is more than 33.
It's not even the 2 points. We had to go for a 2-point conversion and try to make up for it. So it's 3 points, really, when you think about it.
That is good point. That is true. And at the end of the day, if whether it's 2 or 3 points, that's still, even if Denver scored, kicks a field goal, they still would have lost the game. So they would, if he just made his extra points, it would have forced Denver to score a touchdown to win the game instead of having to kick a field goal, or at least tie it, to say the least. But I swear to God, like I said, football is an American sport. And honestly, it does not need to be spread across the world if players like him get a job in the league over guys who were born into the sport here in America and show out in college. Rodrigo Blankenship, he's another example of a guy who is jobless right now. Yet he
was kind of bad.
Yeah, but hey, he's a kicker that showed out in college.
He did. He
at
was
Georgia.
Great at Georgia. He was Georgia's guy for years.
Yeah, he played a couple of good seasons in Indianapolis, I believe. Or at least one good season.
Yeah, 2020 wasn't bad. He was 10 for 10.
Yeah,
he was 10. Wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry. They're going by like yardage. I just want to know like.
No, I swear he had one good season.
He was 32 for 37.
What about extra points?
Extra points, he was 43 of 45. That's you know what? I think you have to expect some misses because every so often you're gonna shank one. It just happens. Nobody's perfect. But
once in a while,
if you're hitting 95 to 100% of the extra points, I'll take that.
Yeah, once in a while, it's fine. You miss it, but back-to-back.
Oh, you know what? That stinks. And it depends on the moment too. Like if he misses an extra point, but the game is 27-10, you're like, you know what? Happens. We're on to the next drive.
Honestly, if it was for this gosh damn stupid international program that the NFL has, he wouldn't even freaking be here.
Yeah, no. And it's not just that. It's not just the extra points. It's they don't trust him to kick.
He's not a good kicker. He's just not.
We're punting when we had a 50-yard field goal. We literally live in a day and age in the NFL where there's a conversation going on about should they make field goals harder because kickers like Audrey and Dallas are just making 60-yard field goals like they're nothing. And we're begging for a guy that can make an extra point consistently. That should show you how, that's a knock on Joe Shane and Brian Daboll for never taking kickers seriously. They didn't bring in Graham Gano. Graham Gano was left over for the Dave Gettleman era. They could have brought in a kicker years ago and should have brought in a kicker years ago.
The moment
they have undervalued kicker their entire time here, and it's cost us over and over again, and they don't learn.
The moment Gano got hurt, that was when the Giants should have been like, all right, he's old. I don't know why we even re-signed him. Out of all the guys to resign, he resigned a kicker.
What did he show you that was so great?
Yeah, was it because he's a respected veteran? I don't freaking know.
Who cares?
He's not that good anymore. Even when he comes back from IR, it's not gonna make me feel any better because he's either one gonna get hurt or two gonna be complete. It's gonna be complete dog crap because he's not good anymore.
No.
He's done. We don't take kickers seriously, and it just bothers the fudge out of me. And Joe Shane better get
because it's continuing to bite us, and we don't change our thinking, which I think is the biggest knock you could put on the Joe Shane and Brian Daboll era. Is these guys do not deviate from what they believe. They don't adapt. They don't change based on what happens in front of them. They just no, it's our way. We're thinking it's gonna work.
Yeah, it's only you can only go so far in terms of it's my way or the highway. You got to make the change when needed, and
that's a big problem. There's a lot of yes men in that Giants organization,
and I hate that. Martindale is one of those guys that were like, no, I ain't taking this BS, and that's why he left.
And I think Wink Martindale really should have been a wake up call for us. And this is such revisionist history.
We look past that.
This is such revisionist history because we were like, all right, you know what, Martindale, you kind of didn't handle the situation right. Yeah, Daboll probably did. We kind of thought of it as a situation where everybody was in the wrong. Yeah, Daboll, you probably could have handled it better. But Martindale, you kind of threw a temper tantrum, fired because you didn't want these guys fired who were not great, and Dable fired them, and then you just kind of ran out the building without telling anybody. So that's wrong too. But we probably should have listened to what Martindale had to say, because he probably was on to something with Dable.
Yeah, we looked past it so much. Like, I remember when we talked about it when it happened, it was like, oh, big deal. Martindale was, he acted wrong in the wrong and whatever.
Yeah,
And
that's what it was. It was the way Martindale handled himself. It took away from whatever Dable did.
But again, like you mentioned, looking at it now, it's like, oh, you see why.
Yeah, and if Martindale would have handled the situation more professionally, maybe we get more of an inkling back then of, okay, something is weird here with this coaching staff. Now we're kind of learning it.
Yeah. Again, learning our lesson. It's as simple as that. And yeah. So Joe Shane, you better figure it out. And it's at the point where maybe I hate to look to the offseason already because football is great and I love watching it. As much as I hate seeing the Giants blow leads like this. It's to the point where we might have to do a mock draft involving kickers, my friend.
Yeah, we might have to.
In the offseason.
We had 2 7th-round picks this year. Why don't we take a kicker with one of them?
That is true. Well, who was the one kicker that got taken in this year's draft? Baralgus? I think he was the kicker that got taken by New England in the draft. But
Tyler Loop and Andres
Baralgus, yeah.
Baralgus were 6th-round picks this year. Tyler Loop's looked pretty good so far in Baltimore.
Yeah. That was kind of a forced pick since Justin Tucker.
Right, but look, that shows me that drafting a kicker works. Oh, look at this. 15 to 16 of extra points made.
He missed one, but has he missed one in consecutive games? No.
Like we said, we're okay with the quarter miss. Not 3 in 2 games.
Exactly. I hate to say it, but maybe Justin Tucker? No, seriously, like, if we look past the massage stuff, like...
I mean, Tucker was also kind of falling off in his final year, too, which is why the Ravens were so easy for the Ravens to cut him.
Any other kicker is better than the bum we have.
I don't disagree with you, but let's look at in his final season, he was 22 of 30 for field goals, and he was 60 of 62 with extra points. Like, so he hits extra points, but he can't make the field goals anymore. Missed 12 field goals his final year. That's why they were so quick to move on from him. He's kind of cooked. He's kind of cooked.
Change of scenery. Give it a shot. Might as well.
I'm just running young Wei Ku out there for a game and just see what happens.
Elevate my cousin and see how it goes. That's all I'm gonna say. I love my guy, young Wei Ku, man. I fully expect him to be on the active roster by Sunday's game against Philly, but I digress. Hey, look, we can talk about kickers all we want, but we're not gonna let the defense off the hook. No matter how bad the play calling was, whatever the case may be, 33 points allowed in the second or in the fourth quarter alone is inexcusable.
Yeah.
And I get it, losing Holland and Debo hurts, but like losing more the latter, or more notably losing the latter than the former hurt the most because it required
Banks to come in the game, and that's when the switch happened. I think all 33 points were scored when Banks was on the field.
Pretty much. He continues to be just terrible. He failed to contain Bo Nix on that touchdown run that he had.
That's what I said earlier. I'm like, you can't keep running him out here. It's not going to work here. It's not. Yeah. And like I said, the effort's just not there either, which is I think is the big problem. There's no effort.
Here's the thing here. I'll if that's okay. I think I'll be okay to show this clip here on Twitter, and shout out to this user on Twitter, Ross MHR, for this. Because Deontay, this is just one of just terrible.
I think this is the video I'm talking about. When you show it, I think this is exactly. Oh no, this is not it.
Okay, so right here. So this is the touchdown run Bo Nix had. So Banks is right here on the outside. So his job is to contain Bo Nix on that touchdown run. So he's right here, the running back in motion, right here. Should have been, because you have guys already going inside. You have Carter, you have 91, that's Alexander, right here. You have guys already coming. His job
Here's Burns
should
up.
be to
Burns is up there in the top. He could, if he regains his balance, he could make a run.
Exactly. And Banks should have been right here on the outside.
Yep. No, but he cuts in.
But he cuts in. Sure, the lineman was, obviously doing his job. But still.
Try running around. Like, he's got Green right here. Run around him.
Like, why stop here? Why would you stop your feet here when you have your guys helping you out on the inside? You could have just came on the, and for those watching on YouTube, you understand on Spotify, it's kind of hard to describe to you guys.
Film on Spotify,
but that's why you watch it on YouTube. Banks instead of going to the outside, he stays on the inside, opens up, and that opens up the outside for
and then he can walk in.
Yeah, what's the block in the back? Not to be a hater. Isn't that block in the back right here? You know what? It's okay.
It's ticky-tacky.
Yeah.
It's it probably is, but like, is he really going to get involved and stop that play?
Yeah, no.
It's kind of like when there's interference, but the ball is way over his head. So it's just like, we're not going to call this because like, even if the defender wasn't there, that ball's not getting catched. I think that logic applies to that block in the back where it's like, yeah, maybe there was probably something there, but was that guy really going to do anything if he was able to, if he didn't get blocked in the back?
Yeah, we're just nitpicking at this point.
Think about it. He was running so far right that he would have to stop himself, turn around, and then start back up. Nick's in the end zone by then.
Yeah, I'm just finding things to.
No. I don't disagree with you. I would try to find anything to try to say we got like screwed or something. Exactly. That's the case where I think that's what happened. Where it's just like, yeah, maybe a penalty happened, but that guy wasn't going to be involved in the play anyway, so not punishing him for it.
Yeah. Well, Banks was involved. That was just one of a few plays that Banks was involved in where he messed up.
The problem is when you see Banks, you always see him like it's either he's getting burnt or just it's like
there's just no positives. There's no positives.
There's no positives from his film at all.
Yeah. Look, so he failed to contain Nix on that touchdown run. He wasn't covered when Troy Franklin.
It's Eli Apple 2.0. Like I watched the YouTube video on Eli Apple the other night, and everything he said, I'm like, man. Besides like him like running his mouth, it's just Deontay Banks. I'm just seeing Deontay Banks. The only thing Banks has on it is he's able to keep his mouth shut.
It's freaking terrible. I'm sorry, but yeah, he was in coverage when Troy Franklin had that touchdown catch. He allowed a couple of big completions, was in these coverage as well when Cortland Sutton had that catch to put the Broncos in prime field goal position. It was he's simply a bust. Without his kick return ability, he's completely useless, and we're just trying to save his career at this point by putting him back at kick return. But if Debo is forced to miss any freaking time, you cannot, and I mean you cannot.
You gotta go. You have to go get a corner. You have to go get it. I still think you have to get a corner regardless. That's the one thing I want to come with. I think corner has elevated itself to the number one pressing need because I think it's the most gettable, getting a depth corner. I think we can get that pretty easily. And two, Banks is just such a liability out there. He will cost you games.
Yeah, it's, I love how I'm a big fan of Drew Phillips. And I think you are too. And I love speaking about him because
he hasn't been great this year, but I think has enough positives where he has a future with this team.
That's the thing. I love the positives, but on Sunday
the negatives are hard to overlook at this point.
Yeah, because we're gonna stop with Deontay Banks because
there's not much to say about Deontay Banks other than he is a liability on the field and can't play football.
I will lose my crap if we talk more about him. But Drew Phillips, he is a little bit concerning to me because look, he's a great tackler. If he run defense, he's great. Had 9 tackles on Sunday, but when it comes to in coverage, Denver abused him. He was targeted 6 times, allowed 5 catches for 80 yards.
Penalties too.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like he's aggressive, but again, not to say he's a poor man's Trevon Diggs.
Yeah, no, that's a really good comparison.
Yeah,
but again, that's bad coaching because you have to sit down and talk to him about that.
Yeah, but apparently he hasn't learned his lesson. That's a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, those struggles in coverage, whether it's that or the penalties, they're all a red flag, and especially as a slot corner,
Mm-hmm.
you're trusted. Yeah, you have a big responsibility because a lot of teams put their best receiver in the slot.
Yeah,
That's
or the
it's
speediest guy in the slot is
yeah,
more what it is. So you're gonna be like sprinting.
it's common knowledge for
Mm-hmm.
anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah,
Um,
that's football 101. You put
there
your
you go.
fastest guy in the slot.
Exactly, or your best guy, one of the other.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just like we mentioned penalties. Phillips had that pass interference on 4th and 3 with 6:38 in the game. That led to the Denver touchdown. Also was part of the 31-yard catch by Marvin Mims on 3rd and 11 that set up a touchdown to give Denver their first lead. And then, of course, Phillips was that closest defender on that 29-yard catch by Mims that put Denver at the Giants 48. Um, that was before the Sutton catch to put the Broncos in field goal position. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, he's just one guy I gotta definitely see improvement in coverage for
Yeah.
sure. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Maybe he's just not that guy. I
But
think
see,
teams.
that's a guy where I think a new coordinator can come in and fix his problems. Like we talked about with Banks, is like you had to keep Banks, maybe a new coordinator can fix him. I don't think anyone's fixing Deontay Banks. Drew Phillips is fixable. You
He's still
know,
young. Yeah, I mean
he's
Banks.
still
They're both young, but I think Phillips has a lot more upside.
Banks is like a 1984 car that's engine went on it. It's like you're not fixing that thing. You're just dumping it. Drew Phillips is like, the 2015 Toyota Camry that's, it needs some touch up, It still works, it still runs, but it's got some problems that needs to be fixed. And that's a car you could, invest into. Banks you're
Yeah,
not investing into.
you can't. You just can't. So look, man. Simple as this. To wrap up the defensive part, there's so much like with the Giants defense, especially how they
There's so much likable stuff in the Giants defense. They're just not being used right because this scheme does not fit them
yeah,
whatsoever.
they played well against the Chargers. They played to some extent good against the Saints. They played well against Philly, but no one thinks about that
They
when you have
played
us.
well against Denver for 3 quarters. That's the worst part. They
But
played
yeah,
great for 2 quarters. I'll give the first half. They played lights out defense in that first half. Brian Burns with the 2 sacks. I mean, geez, he could be defensive player of the year right now. Oh my God.
the thing is, we talk about all these things, but no one thinks about that when
Carter
you
had
have
another
us.
had another sack called back for a penalty.
I know.
I
See,
literally screamed. I'm like, he did it! He did it! We were right. We called it. And then I saw the flag come out. I'm like, come on! Stop
uh,
screwing the kid.
hopefully he gets his first official sack against Philly, but I digress.
Yeah,
But
that'd be nice.
but yeah, no one thinks about the positives, and when you have as bad as a quarter like you did against,
Oh, yeah, it
and
wipes out everything you did from the game before.
it does.
Everything.
So I was gonna say Shane Bowen, if he's not fired by the end of the week, it's a huge red flag. But as Stable said, there
Which
would
is already
be
a red flag. It's a red flag. I tweeted it out. I'm like, if and when Dable is fired, because I truly think his job is 50-50 right now. I think if he would have won, he probably would have clinched the other season. Right now, I think it's 50-50.
as much as no one really likes to admit it. I think personally,
Mm-hmm.
just based off what has happened so far. I mean, he did. I mean, he is. He did beat the Chargers and he did beat Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think he earned another year already.
I see, like, yeah, yes, he's done a lot of good stuff with Jaxson Dart, and he has the relationship with Jaxson Dart. At the same time, he's doing a lot of stuff. Like, the stuff he's doing good is stuff that good coordinators do. I think Brian Daboll is a very good coordinator. I don't know if he's a good coach yet because of the undisciplinedness and like the big picture stuff, like going soft in the summer, not, the flags on every play, stuff like that. Not yelling and benching guys when they mess up. It's stuff like that where I'm like, are you really that leader or are you just a really good coordinator that's working with Dart? Like, and it's never going to happen in a million years. If the Giants want to fire Brian Dable or like demote him to OC and bring in like that Tom Coughlin guy, I think that'd be best case scenario, but that's not going
Yeah,
to happen.
yeah, and that would be nice, definitely. I don't know. I think it goes back to the same philosophy I had since Dart
Mm-hmm.
was drafted. You draft. I know a lot of people aren't gonna like this. I understand that, but
Yeah.
it's like he finally got his guy. and the Giants' offense has taken steps forward with him under center, with Dart under center, and that's and obviously, Dable was the one who wanted him, which kind of actually takes me back, and we'll wrap things up shortly here, but. And I saw, and I'm not going to take credit for this because I saw it. Someone tweeted it out. When we drafted Jaxson Dart,
I know. Yeah,
Joe Shane didn't have like the most confidence in him.
It was a Dable pick. It was a Dable pick all day.
It was such a Dable pick. And I'm just like, that's what makes me hesitant when I say Dable's going to deserves another year, because if you fire Joe Shane, you can't just keep that.
You can't fire Joe Shane and keep the head coach. You have to both go.
That's the thing.
You could fire Brian Dable and keep Joe Shane. You can't do the other way.
Because it just doesn't make sense.
No, no. An arranged marriage between the coaches like that don't work ever.
Yeah. If Dable's fired, Shane has to go. If Shane's fired,
Dable's gone.
Even though I don't want him gone, but Dable's gone because
Shane's gone. They're just cleaning the house.
Yeah.
I
don't know why.
And which is like, why
to make it complicated for it? Like,
Dable's got to, I think, prove himself to me again, just because like it's the big picture stuff. Like, I don't think his time management was great on Sunday. Like, why didn't you call a timeout when Brian Burns can't get down the field?
That is a good point.
And like the play calling wasn't great. That's like the play calling in the fourth quarter wasn't great. Like, why are you passing the ball? I get being aggressive, but sometimes it's just like, just be smart football. It's just stuff like that. Something that annoys me. And it's like, I don't think Jaxson Dart is playing this well because of Brian Dable. I think Jaxson Dart's just a good quarterback, and you could put any sort of, I'm not saying I'm not saying any coach can do it, as we saw with Matt Jones. Like, if you're going to put two, nincompoops with them in Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, yeah, he's going to fail. But if you get a competent coach to work beside Jaxson Dart, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think if you ask me, gun to my head, how I feel about the Giants situation when it comes to coaches, I honestly couldn't give you a clear answer.
I can't either. That's why I'm like, I'm so torn, because there's stuff I see from Brian Dable, like the Jaxson Dart stuff. The offense has gotten better, and like we saw,
and he wears his heart on his sleeve. Like,
it's stuff like that where I'm like,
because he cares.
I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy does have he can be a good coach, but it's like the other stuff's like, man, you've been a coach for 4 years and you still haven't improved this or done this right, or, taken step backwards in certain areas. It's just like, are you really a good head coach, or were you just a good offensive coordinator elevated by an unbelievable quarterback talent?
Yeah. So we'll have to see. But Bowen is
Bowen is fired regardless.
It's just a matter of when.
If there's if the Giants had any pride in themselves, and they would have fired Shane Bowen by now, which I know, like I said, like, what does firing a coordinator do? But it's just a principle thing. Deontay Banks would be traded, and the kicker would be back in Ireland right now.
Yeah, where he belongs.
Those, I think, the three. The kicker and the Shane Bowen, definitely. Banks is 50-50, but like, I just think trading Banks is the right move right now. Just it's one of those things where it's just not going to work here.
Yeah. So I don't know. We got final thoughts. Yeah, a lot of negatives that we discussed today for sure. Like you mentioned about Banks' future, he should either be traded or released by the end of the year, or no matter when. I think, when it comes to Bowen, Banks, Jude McTominay, whatever, those guys are gone. Just a matter of when.
Abel would have bought another year with the win against Denver and just did it.
Yeah, at 2-5, just we're right back.
It's 2-5, and it's like just the same mistakes over and over again is the problem. Like, the kicker thing is such a big deal for me.
Right back at square one. You lose against Philly. You lose to Philly on Sunday, and I think the hopes of
If it loses to Philly, it washes out how great Thursday night was, and I still think Thursday night's like the coming out party for Dart and Scatterboo, so I think it's still important. But like all the good graces that Dable built up from Philly is gone if he loses, especially if he loses badly. Like if they go to the link and get like just stomped on, it's a problem.
Yeah, but man, like I mentioned earlier, if we do somehow beat Philly, we would be 2 games back at the division, and the division is wide open all over again for all 4 teams. So we'll have to see. But yeah, Phil's going to be another tough. It's going to be a tougher matchup than we had him. And what? Or it's going to be a tougher
I
matchup.
don't know. Saquon is not. He's got banged up that game. I haven't heard anything yet, but it could be.
Whenever you play in the link, it's always tough. So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, an ugly season so far for Saquon Barkley, man. It seems like the Madden curse has taken over. It seems like, but we will see.
And it's just it kind of vindicates us a little bit. This is why you don't sign running backs.
Yeah, good point. But yeah, Barkley, 15 carries, 46 yards, 1 catch for -2 yards as well. So I don't know, man. Had a good season last year, but seems like a little slump right now.
Yeah.
Well, whether you can blame the offensive line or you can blame him, things are not going well in Philadelphia in terms of their rushing game. But it's good to see their passing attack get back on track. And they will need to do that if Saquon is out against us on Sunday. But we will see as we approach towards the end of the week with the injury reports and all that. But yeah, one of those games, man, where was really happy for the first 3 quarters. And
well, this is surprising. Jaxson Dart was given the lowest offensive PFF score on Sunday, 49.1.
I mean, when you complete less than 50% of your passes, and
I know, but I think this is one of the story where like the stats don't match the eye test.
And that's why I think Pro Football Focus is kind of BS sometimes. Like, yes, I admit I'll use them for stats and stuff and everything, and
I think they're better evaluating over a long period of time and not like short,
Yeah.
Like in the off season, I think they're good because they have a big they have a big thing to work with. So like a bad quarter won't throw off the rankings so much and vice versa. Whereas like individual games, that's more of like an eye test thing.
Yeah. PFF can be good and bad sometimes, but I digress. But yeah, like I mentioned, look, to sum things up for me, great 3 quarters, was fun to watch, and then that 4th quarter came, and everything just collapsed from there. And definitely one of the more depressing games watching. I watched as a Giants fan, but
oh no, this is more. This is a top 5 loss of the past decade. The game was over. The game was over. It was 26-8 with 5 minutes left. This ball game was done. We were running out the clock.
Yeah.
Like I remember with like Kevin with like it was like a 10-point game and Kevin Harlan's like, it's a 10-point game. I'm like, dude, you're just trying to amp up. Like this game is over. They scored a garbage. We'll be fine. And then we weren't.
Yeah.
And of course, if Dart's knee is down a second sooner, we probably win the game.
Yeah, if he did score that touchdown, I know.
If he did score a touchdown so fast, I like turned to my dad when like he went in and when he marked him down, I'm like, no, this is good. Kill the clock as much as possible and then score with like 10 seconds left. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
I know that's risky because like you can't guarantee scores and stuff like that.
But you're so close. It's like
you're just so close. You're like, oh, okay, maybe chew off another 10, 15 seconds and then score.
Goes back to the same thing.
And we still have the timeout. So it's like we could call timeout at any point and be okay.
Yeah. It goes back to the same thing, man. Hindsight's 20/20. It's just just how it is. But well, you know what? It's all good. It's not really all good, but what can you do?
No, it's not all good. It's the opposite of all good.
Exactly.
Last week we were like here on this show. Now we're here.
Back to
as low as you can go.
Back to where we used to be.
Yeah.
But just a little bit more depressed.
I mean, at least we scored 30 points again. Like that's nice. The fact we consistently doing that now is pretty fun.
Yeah, good point. Last thing, Dallas has reached out to the Raiders about
Max. I saw that. Yeah. I don't know. Who tweeted that? That was Dove Coleman, right? Dove?
Yes.
I'm so hit or miss with him.
Well, it was first reported by Trey Wingo.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's better. That's better.
Yeah. But we'll see.
But okay, they reached out to him. What's that like? They might have just called.
True. We'll see. If they get him,
I don't think he gets moved.
I think the Raiders will definitely have to.
That sounds more like an off-season thing.
It will take a lot.
Yeah.
For them, but alrighty. Well, that'll do it for the 3rd and 10 podcast, season 3, episode 47. We appreciate you guys as always for watching and listening to us. I still have our guesses.
I was gonna say, I'm like, oh, Christina's still getting shout outs.
I just realized that. Well, if y'all haven't already, go follow her at N1G Christina. I had a great episode with her on Saturday. Y'all should check it out. But otherwise, you can follow me at Nathan_124. You can follow Brian at BrianPG1016. You can follow our podcast page at 3rd and 10 Pod on Instagram and the Twitter. And you can follow our TikTok page at 3rd and 10 Podcast for clips from our shows. Shout out to SeatGeek, our sponsor. Use the code BellyUpSports for $20 off your first purchase. And you can find my article work, Brian's article work, and all of our other amazing podcasts and writers at bellyupsports.com. We appreciate you guys as always. We'll be back on Thursday to talk about Giants, Eagles, and give our best bets for Week 8 of the NFL season. Oh, I didn't do the Week 6 to Week 7 stuff. Ah, crap! I remember that. Remember a couple weeks ago, I was like, "What do you mean good?
I'll do that. That stuff's stupid."
Fine.
We're not Gen Alpha. Not brain. This isn't a brain rot.
Have you seen the video of those kids that they're I guess they're part of the band or whatever, and they made a song about the 6'7"?
No, I saw the picture where like if another kid says 6'7", you're gonna write a 670 word essay about why brain rot's bad for you.
As they should. 6'7". All right, for Brian, I'm Nate. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye.